Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chef Please, Chef's Top 10s. I'm a little bit sickly, so if my voice sounds a little off, or I'm a little sniffly this episode, that's why. I'm very tired, very ill, head's pounding, but show must go on. Just figured I'd get that out the way. So if I'm not my usual upbeat, let's go giddy up self, that's why. Today's video is on my pick for the top 10 horror games. This doesn't mean any game on the list is in a particular order, except for the top 3. And this doesn't mean any game that isn't on the list is bad. These are just the top 10 ones that I wanted to put here. But you can let me know in the comments what you think. I'm very curious about that. I've been liking the feedback lately. It's really nice. And it lets me know where you guys stand on stuff. And I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but there might be some disturbing imagery in the video because there are screenshots from each of the games. And you might even think I'm a ninny by the end of this, but let's go on down, huh? Number 10. Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. Now, I know a ton of you are adapted to Five Nights at Freddy's, but jump scares get me more than environments and characters themselves most of the time. And I like to put that one on random and look away from the screen and just go. And keep in mind, I've only ever played Five Nights at Freddy's, the first one time. So I'm not adapted to how you're supposed to play with all of the animatronics. I was thinking about going live sometime playing that game just because it could be a show, But yeah, I'm really bad at it, but it's a ton of fun. If you hear the howling, that's my cat playing with the thing you pull out of a milk carton, the little plastic tab thing. For some reason, when she does it, she howls. That's all. Number 9, The Evil Within 2. This game, in itself, isn't particularly scary. However, there is one thing that I always do on accident that makes it scary. And it's kind of open world, and there's a particular house that when you go in it, unless you have a save from recent, it starts this ghost mission where you get teleported to this area and have to avoid this ghost lady and get out. And then randomly throughout the game, if you've done this side quest, I always do it completely on accident. I remember the house, but then for some reason walk in 20 minutes later and always goof myself. And then randomly it'll throw you back in the house and you have to escape again. And it's a burden, but it's so terrifying. Number 8, Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Or of Pigs, I don't remember. But this is the only Amnesia game I've beaten. I thought the ending was doo-doo, but it did a good job of keeping suspense. I don't think I died playing it. In the game, I'm almost certain I didn't. But it did a really good job of keeping and maintaining suspense the entire time. And I really appreciated it for that. I want to go back and play the others because I have the collection. And I think Rebirth is on Game Pass. I could be wrong, but I think it is. And yeah, just a pretty good game all around. Number 7, the Resident Evil 1 remake. So this game, I'm only doing one entry per series here. And this game is, not that the others aren't scary, but it's the only one to make me jump as consistently as it did. Especially once Crimson Heads got involved and Hunters got involved. Oh man, the amount of times during the playthrough I had to pause. And because I was just made my heart race way too much, especially with Forrest. It's a zombie on a balcony somewhere. If you've played the game or you saw the playthrough, you know. And it's pretty intense. Especially for an entry to the series. It's pretty good. Number 6, Little Nightmares. I haven't played this game in years, but I do remember the suspense once you start seeing creatures and start seeing the inhabitants of this area. they're just so creepy. The way they like lug and carry themselves around, it's almost has like a same level of uncanniness as like Jim Henson puppets, you know what I mean? Where they're just very stiff but fluid at the same time. I don't know how else to explain it. They're very creepy. Number 5, Tormented Souls. I didn't get super far in this, but what I did, it was pretty nerve wracking. Like, the amount of defense options is very low, while the enemy rate seemed to be fairly high, and like not in an overwhelming amount, but spread out just enough for there to be a little bit of space for you to be like, okay, I can let my guard down for a minute, this room has to be safe, and then the second you walk through a door into another room, there's something else. And it's tough. It was a hard game from what I remember. But I feel like it feels like, let's say the Resident Evil stopped at 1 or 2. This could have been a spiritual successor to those. That's just my opinion, though. Number 4, Blair Witch on the PS4. I believe it's also on other systems, but that's what I played it on. That game... So, real life wise, there's a couple things I'm afraid of, and the woods is one of them. So this one already had a good chance of scaring me from the beginning, and it did, and it does, and I haven't gotten very far in that one either. And it's just, I don't know, even when there's nothing happening in that game, just the atmosphere and the way the dog companion reacts to everything doesn't help. It's very spooky. It does a really good job. And like, I don't think the movies are scary by any sense of the word, but I think because you're in the shoes in that one, that's what's scary. Number 3, Outlast 1. I remember playing this game for the first time, and I beat it in like an hour and 45 minutes, but like, it's still managed to spook me, like really bad. It's super tense, like especially if you goof and press the wrong button and use your batteries all the time like I do. There's no defense options, like none. So you have to use hiding and wits to your advantage. But sometimes the AI is just the smartest AI in the world and will snuff you out no matter where you're hiding. So sometimes even that doesn't matter. And it's just rinse and repeat until you beat it, and it's a good game. Weird ending, but good game. I want to try Outlast Trials, but I don't have any friends that play it. Number 2, Bendy the Ink Machine. This game, when I first played it, I hadn't watched the videos, but I had seen that Game Theory had done like 6 videos on it. And I was like, alright, it's gotta be worth it then, right? And boy, I let the cartoony art style really like trick me into being like, it's just gonna be some indie cheap horde. I was wrong. It is frightening. Like, it does a really good job of being a horror title for being indie. And like, it really slays. Like, not to say that indie can't be scary, you know, because like Little Nightmares and like Five Nights at Freddy's, but it does something that I feel a lot of games don't do, where it doesn't even try to ease you in comfort wise. It kind of lulls you into that just because it's so cartoony and everything is 1950s. It's got like the cell shaders, and it just does a really good job of deceiving, and then things hit the fan and it's intimidating. Number 1, Call of Cthulhu. If you've been with the channel for a while, not only did you get to see me play this game, but you also would understand why this is number 1. And that is just, I have a fear of the ocean, like thalassophobia, and so that game from like start to finish had me very uncomfortable, very on edge, very unnerved. I don't think I've ever... It was a really good experience. The ending was insane, but I don't think I've ever had a game... I don't think I've ever played a game that had me on the literal like edge of my seat from start to finish. There were a couple puzzles where like it kind of threw me off, but like the second the puzzles were done, it was right back into it. Like, it was scary. And for someone who doesn't have thalassophobia, it may just be like, it's not that bad. But if you do, and you like to be scared, I highly recommend it. Like, there's a water jump scare, like, I think it was like within the first 2 episodes, so like 15-20 minutes into the game, is they're already hitting you with it off the bat, and it just more and more, and it gets so intense. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought below. This is just my list, remember? You are free to disagree, and let me know your opinions. I'd love to see that type of stuff, I really do, especially now that we've been seeing it more. It means a lot to me, and like I said, I'm a little sickly. I'm going to try to keep up with content. I'm going to do my best. But yeah, there's probably going to be a decent amount of Resident Evil stuff, just because I haven't been talking a lot, so this is a little rough on the throat. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe. I know I don't usually say that, but I'm sick. I get a mulligan. See ya.